I remember one time I was at a church and I was speaking to my parents are church ministers, context. So we were at a new church, my dad was preaching, and the organist came over to me and my brother and was like asking us questions about us. And we were like, oh yeah, we're just from Durham. We're visiting the area today because my dad's speaking. And then he told me this whole long story about how his wife and him went to Kenya and like, we had a really great time there, and they loved all the people, and we really just love Africa. And then they were like, so where are you from? And I'm like, I'm not African. Like, it was just such an obvious, like, I know black people. I've been to Kenya, therefore we have like
for Barack Obama. That kind
probably. Yeah, I would have voted for a third time, and it's just like, bruh. And like, my parents aren't even African; they're from the Caribbean. But even if they were, it's just annoying. Like, it's not offensive. Like, it doesn't hurt me that he made that assumption, but it's just annoying, right? It would never happen to a white person where you just tell a random unrelated story about the time you went to Germany and we're like, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely.
That was so good.
I think it comes from a place of genuine, like, I want us to be friends, or like, I'm trying to relate, but it's like, I'm just a person. You can ask me normal questions. You don't have to tell me about your mission trip to Kenya. Anyway, someone else can go.
Would you like to go next?
She's like, yeah, I was a black one, because I was like really sassy, and I was just like, oh, I love that for you. And she's like, yeah, I was so sassy and I had so much attitude and I was just funny and I used to talk like this. And it was very much because in a lot of European countries, when they're learning English, they learn like American English rather than British English. So she was doing like sort of American, very typical United States, like stereotype black girl from like New York or something. And she was like, yeah, I do this, and I used to click my fingers and bop my head at them, and it was great fun. For a long time after that, she was consistently like, she met me and my other best friend. He's black. Whenever we were together as a trio, she would try to act out these stereotypes to make herself like fit in, I suppose. But neither one of us act anything like that. And so it was just odd.
Yeah, like, people forget that like black British people exist. Like, I remember, sorry, I'll let you speak in a second, Aphrodite, but it reminded me of this time in secondary school. I had just moved school, and again, I grew up in Durham, which is super white. It's lovely, but it's super white. So I was one of 2 black girls in the whole school, and I just joined, and then they were like, I was in year 8, I was like 12, and they kept asking me to like, say, I don't remember what it was, but like say, basically African American like slang words, be sassy, like, oh, can you say this? Because they were just, there's one other black girl, so I feel sorry for her because they've already had known her for a year. But yeah, I turned up and they were like, oh yeah, can you like act sassy? Can you say like, I don't know, yas, I don't know. But like, I was so uncomfortable. I was 12, I was new, and they were like I'm like, I'm English, I can't even do the like acts, I can't even do the American, like the black American stereotypical accent. I'm like, guys, chill out.
And the thing is, like, what you guys are saying is completely fine if, you know, some people of colour are sassy. Like, that's fine, they're people. Yeah. But we're not all like that, you know?
Don't force it on people and don't expect everyone to be the same.
Yeah, so what often happens to me is people don't believe I'm from London, the UK. So I went to boarding school. I was in the taxi and I was like, do you mind like taking this road? Because it's quicker. And I think he was trying to rip me off. Made me pay the extra £10 and I wasn't having it in Northampton. I was like, no, sorry, I don't have this money. He was like, oh, where are you from? And I was like, oh, I'm from London. And then he was like, where are you from? And you know when they always ask you that question, like, where are you actually from? I personally don't mind that. Other people may take offense. Like, they want to know a bit more about you. I don't really mind, you know, whatever. I have worse things to worry about. But no, then he was like, you know that school? Oh, you go to that school? And I was like, yeah. He was like, there are a lot of international people there. And I was like, yeah, there are. and I didn't know what I was supposed to say. And then he was like, there's a lot of coloured people. And I was like, yeah, there are coloured people. That's a bit 1960s phrase, but we'll go with that, sure. And then he was like, there are a lot of Polish people too. And I was like, yes. It's like he was just naming the kind of people that were in. I was like, okay. Then he was like, so are you sure you're from London? And I literally looked at him. I was like, am I sure? Sorry, let me just check my timeline. Yeah. And he was like, no, you've got a South African twang. And if anyone that's like, if you've listened to this video so far, please, in the comments, if there are going to be comments, let me know if I sound South African. Another time, I was with my friend in a cafe who was white. She's got a similar accent to me. She's from like, yeah, slightly more down south. And the waitress comes up. Oh, looks at me. Where are you from? Then I say London. And then she's like, where are you from? And I'm like, well, I'm mixed race, blah, 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 blah. Then she's like, oh, you don't sound like you're from London. You sound like you're from Madrid. And I was like, okay. And then another time, someone thought I was from Texas. They just, listen, these people just refusing to like, Texas. Like, proper Texas.
Oh my goodness.
And like, the thing is, I forgive them slightly because I do have a very ambiguous like look to me. Sometimes I get Turkish discounts on green lanes because like after 21 years they still think I'm Turkish and it's great. But like, don't show this video to them because I love the discounts. So they think I'm Turkish, which is great. But I find people find it hard to believe that I'm just from London. Like, that's me. That's boring me. I'm just from London. I'm not from like South Africa, Texas, Madrid, Africa, whatever you want to.
Quite an international range.
I know. I'm a versatile girl.
I remember one time I was on like a country walk with my family when we were on holiday one time in like, I don't know, some random part of England, and like these people had a dog, so we were talking to this couple and their dog, and they were like, where are you from? And we were like, I don't remember where we lived at this point, and they were like, oh, we thought you were American. I'm like, we are clearly not. Like, I'm so not American, but it's just like, did you even listen to us, or you're like, African Americans?
They don't want us.
I've seen you on TV. Obama? Oh dear.